My guest today is one of Canada's funniest exports, Manolis Zontanos. For over 2 decades, this Hamilton-born comic has been touring the world, sharing the stage with legends like Russell Peters, Bert Kreischer, Ari Shaffir, and Duncan Trussell. Manolis has appeared on the Comedy Network, Just for Laughs, MTV Canada, and more. He's certainly had me laughing every time I've seen him perform. Now, let's get into the zone with Manolis Zontanos.
Hey, dude.
Hey, it's great to see you, man. Thanks for taking the time to chat with me. I appreciate it.
No problem, man.
So we met. I was doing stand up several years ago, and that's where we met in the Hamilton comedy scene. I remember you were like one of the funniest people, and you're also just like a really nice guy. So I wanted to talk with you, learn a little about how you got into stand up, what your craft is like. What was like the first time you got on stage, and what made you do that?
Well, a buddy of mine started doing stand up at the time. Jason Rouse. I don't know if you've heard of him,
I
but
have, yeah, of
oh
course, I've
yeah, of
seen him.
course, yeah. So he started doing it before me, and then it's weird because I kind of always wanted to try stand up, but I just didn't know anything about that world. And when my friend told me he was doing it, I was like, oh, so anybody can just do this? I thought like somehow there's no information. This was 1998. Yeah, 98. So like that's a long time ago, right? It's like I was like, what? Like you don't know like it's like there's no internet. There's no way to find out how he's supposed to do this stuff, you know? And it's like word of mouth. And so I'm like, so how do you get on? It's like, oh, I'll put you on next week. And I'm like, really? And then I was like, I wasn't really asking to go on. I was just kind of like, how do you get on? It's like, oh, you're on next week. I was like, oh fuck. So I had like so I was like, I had like probably like 5 minutes already prepared by mistake because it's believe it or not, I had like these stupid little routines, like jokes that I was doing to people, like to girls, really at bars to try and make them laugh. But I had the like kind of like bits. I didn't realize there were bits until I'm like, oh, maybe I can do this stuff. And I just put it all together and I probably did like 4 minutes. It's my first set's on YouTube actually, but I did like 4.5 minutes, and it went really well. And then I was like, oh my god, I did it once. I was like, I'm a stand up comic. That's in my head. I was like, I'm gonna do this for the rest of my fucking life. That was it. I'm still doing it. It was like, and then I did a show the next night at a open mic, and I fucking tanked, and it was and it was well, I did okay, and it was like, I still like this. I remember thinking, my second show ever too, because I was already friends with this dude. Russell Peters was
Mhm.
emceeing the second show I ever did.
Wow.
Yeah, so he was just there emceeing, and Frank Spadone was on the show. That's how long ago it was, right? Just a shitty open mic, and non-famous Russell was like, emceeing the show for whatever reason. But I even met Russell like several months prior to this, like through just because at first I was just hanging out in the scene because I thought it was so cool. I had nothing to do. My friends were all married. I was like about 20, I think I was like 27 years old, I think at the time. And I slowly became friends with Russell Peters, like to the point where like it was like, it was like always hanging out and talking. And all of a sudden he goes, hey, what's your name again? Like it was one of those, that point where like,
Hmm.
we're kind of like, I guess we're buddies. So what's your fucking name? I keep like, you know what I mean? And I go,
Yeah.
oh, it's Manolis. And he goes, do you, and like, you do stand up? Do you do stand up? Cause he's like, he's not really paying attention to my life, or I'm just always joking around with him. And he's like, I go, no, I don't do stand up. And he goes, oh, you will. And
Okay.
I remember at the time, I still wasn't thinking of doing it. And like, but like, if you know anything about Russell, he's a pretty smart guy, you know? And like the funny thing about Russell too is like I've known the guy for like now he's just, fucking famous Russell. But uh, ideally I would love if he to help me out more, but I'm stuck in Hamilton for now. But like the same time, if I text him or like called him, and or if it was just say some type of emergency, I'm like, dude, I really need to talk to you. He would fucking he would like, what's up, dude? Like now, like I'm talking about today, he would do that. Like and like the like I can't do nothing for him. You know what I'm saying? Like there's nothing he gains nothing from me as a friend except just friendship. He can't like, oh, Manolis can give me this gig or Manolis can help me this way. I can't do nothing but be his friend. And that's, he's happy with that. And that's says a lot about that kind of dude. You know what I mean?
It also says a lot about you that he's willing to just be your friend for no reason, which is kind of like a true friend in a sense, where it's like you don't actually want anything from this person. How important do you think relationships are in stand up?
Well, there's like, yeah, there's different kind of friendships, like Bert Kreischer and like guys like Duncan. I love Duncan Trussell. Everybody should, if you're listening to this right now, just type in Duncan Trussell Family Hour on Spotify, I think, and start listening to his podcast. He's probably one of the most interesting people in the world to me. Like, there's no one more interesting. And I met him by mistake, and then we started talking, and it was the same thing. He's just like the coolest fucking guy. But like, we're the kind of like these guys. The problem with these famous guys, if you're friends with them by luck and accident, there's like, it's like they're more like, hey, if I see them, they're probably going to be down to hang out. But they're like, I can't be like, it's the same with, I can't be just like, hey, what are you up to today? Texting. Like, they're just like, they're in this other fucking world
Right.
where like me, it's like, it's just like, for me to text them would be like, oh man, don't be that guy. You know what I
Fair
mean?
enough. So you have to have like that self-awareness, right? Like it's like which you seem to have, where it's
Yeah.
like, oh, you don't want to bother people, but you also want to like be friends with them. You want to like do shows with
Yeah.
them, hang with them and stuff. I sort of remember a little bit of that. Like, I mean, obviously on a much smaller scale, like when I was doing stand up, it was just very like amateur kind of stuff, like amateur night at Yuck Yucks and stuff like that. You remember, but
Right.
it was like being friends with the comics was like half the fun. I mean, you mentioned you did really well on your first set. My first set was a nightmare. I crashed and died on my first set, and then I didn't
Okay.
do stand up again for like a year or something like that.
All right.
And then my second set went really well, so like it gave me uh, courage to keep doing it. But do you think that like there was a particular moment where you were like, I don't know, if you bombed really bad and you thought, oh, I'm never going to do this again? Or have you always just felt like bombing is part of the process and like you have to just get through that?
I think I definitely think bombing is part of the process. I mean, there's this guy I remember because I mean, I've had those bombs where like, holy fuck. Like
Hmm.
I one time I bombed in front of like 2,000 people in England and London, not London, outside. I think I forget where it was. I think it was like some festival anyways, and got myself on, did 10 minutes, and it was like it just like didn't go well. And it didn't tank, but it didn't do well. And I was like, oh man, my friend's like, are you gonna be okay? And I'm like, yeah, yeah, I'm gonna be okay. I just need another set. You just need another set to fucking make it right. That's all it is, right? There's like two stories I want to tell you. Luke Lawrence and then guy sitting at bar, in case I forget, okay? Luke Lawrence is like uh he lives in St. John's, Newfoundland, and I was there one night. Like I went back there to do a show, and he's like contacted me on Facebook. Hey man, I want to hang out with you tonight. So I was doing shows in St. John's, Newfoundland, and he found me and this other guy hanging out. Where I just became friends with him. We were like, funny enough, just on mushrooms, tripping. And he's like, "You guys are on mushrooms?" It's like, "Yeah." We just met. Me and this guy just kind of like been friends for like a day, and we're doing mushrooms together. It's like, so now then we go back to Luke's house and we're hanging out there. And I put it together. I'm like, oh, this guy's a comedian. I'm like, who is this guy? I'm like, oh, he's a comedian, blah, blah, blah. I guess I met him before. Cause yeah, you meet people and you forget people, right? And then he goes, okay, well, this I wanted to tell you this. I'm like, what? So it's like, you were last time you were here, you were at Yuck Yucks, and you came early for the amateur night because the pro show was afterwards, and you saw me and I tanked, and I was sitting there like just really upset, and you came up to me and said, hey man, it's okay, you're not getting paid, don't worry, don't I said this, don't worry about this show, don't worry about these guys, if you like doing it, keep doing it. You're trying to figure out, if you like doing it, keep doing it, don't fucking worry about the show, fuck this show, something like that I said to him. And he tells me the story. I forgot saying this, but he tells me the story, and he goes, I was going to quit that night, and you came up to me and said that, and I'm like, you know what? I'm going to keep going for a while. And I was very moved by that. I was on mushrooms too. I was like so overwhelmed by gratitude and fucking love, you know?
Hmm.
But, and good. And then, and second thing is like, there's this story, this old comic story or like a joke where it's like a comic sitting at a bar after a show. He's drinking whatever. And some girl comes up to him and says, "Hey, I just want to say I saw your show and, I thought you were the funniest guy I've ever seen in my life, and I want to go home with you and I'll have sex with you all night." And the comic goes, "Which show were you at? The first show or the second show?" Because
Yeah,
you heard that one?
I haven't, but that's great. I mean, that,
Yeah.
and also it just speaks to like your, who you are, on mushrooms or not. It's like you're the guy to go up to the comic who's had a bad set and like encourage them. And I think even at one point, I remember you like helped me with a tag for one of my bits, or like you suggested a joke. Like it's that kind of camaraderie that I think is
It's
makes
needed and missing, to tell you the
needed and
truth.
missing. Yeah, yeah. It's so competitive, right? Because it's like there's only so much attention, and people feel like they need the attention, and if they don't get it, it's going to someone else. And so this idea of like building each other up, I think, is like kind of something that you were spearheading, at least in the comedy scene in Hamilton at the time. I remember like there were other people too, but
The trick too, like if you want to like become friends with comedians, and I had to learn the hard way too. Like I didn't figure this out. Took me time, but it's like, say we're buddies, okay, in the comedy scene, and then like all of a sudden like you get on Just for Laughs. You say you get Just for Laughs this year or next year, whatever it is. I actually genuinely be happy for you?
mhm.
And if I can genuinely be happy, I'm like, fucking right, dude. You know what I mean? Then I'm on another level. That's the level you want to be at. You want to be like, I'm not saying you have to be happy for people that are not your friends. You just like, I'm talking about your close friends. Like, because I was like, if I had a close friend of mine got something good, that like in my early years, I'd be like, what the fuck? That's just bullshit. Like, what about me? Da, 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 da. You got to get, you got, if you can pass that, you can transcend past that and actually truly be happy for your friend. First of all, now he is your friend. And secondly, you're not controlled by the outside world, you know? So that's a really important thing.
Totally. That really resonates with me because I felt the same thing, especially early on. It was like, oh, how did this person get this? And even now that I've like sort of moved away from stand up and work more in TV and film, it's like you still feel that. I think that's in every industry. There's like this sense of like,
Yeah.
oh, this person got this and I didn't get, I should have got that. And it's like if you can get past that, there's like this whole other world that sort of opens up to you. So I think that's like a really good attitude to have towards it.
It's poison, man. You get sucked into this like misery. Like I know a lot of comedians that I've cut a lot of people out of my life just because they're too fucking down. They're downers. They're Debbie Downers, just complaining, and it's like you gotta fucking they got caught into that game or that trap of like, well, this is bullshit, that's bullshit. Like, why do you get this? I'm funnier than that. And now you're like doing 20 years of stand up, but you're really just complaining for 20 years. And like who wants? I'm like, who wants that life?
You have been doing it for over 20 years. Do you
Yeah,
think
yeah.
that like what do you think has changed since you started to now? Like our audience is different? Are the way you tell jokes different? Do you think anything's changed over the past 20 years in comedy?
The only thing I think, like I think the clubs are always just going to be the clubs. And funny, the great thing about stand up is like no matter what style you kind of come up with and try to do, it's like at the end of the day, if it's not funny, they're not going to laugh. That's why kind of comedy always regulates itself because it has to be funny. Um, I think the one thing that's changed is like when I started, there was no fucking, there wasn't even YouTube, dude. Like, isn't that crazy? Like, I did stand up comedy, and like there was no other way to see it except if you saw it at the club. That's fucking think about it. That's like so when YouTube happened, like I was like, we're so like you put it on the fucking on this YouTube, and then you can watch it whenever you want to watch it. Like, cause like at that time, you know, like if you watched something, it was like, oh, it was on at 9 o'clock, and you had to watch it on TV. Like, so I could just watch it whenever I want. Like, it was like it's like trying to figure out the Matrix. But like, so things change, but the one thing I think is funny is like people like you post almost anything and you put it online, like whatever it's Instagram, TikTok, whatever, and then all of a sudden YouTube and the people like will get in there and complain, like people like bitch and complain, oh this is whatever, because everybody thinks like, oh comedy's become more woke or sensitive or whatever. It hasn't. It's just this. The internet world is not the real world. The internet world, those people, the people that complain the most on the internet are like saying this, they're offended by whatever they're offended by. They're not going to the shows.
Right.
Like I remember one time, like when Louis C.K.'s like some audio got leaked from a special that he was working on after he got hashtag Me Too. Like it was after that, and everyone's like, oh, people were freaking out about what he was saying, this and that. So I clicked on the audio. I wanted to hear like what the fuck did he say, right? And it's him destroying for like a half an hour or whatever he was doing at the comedy. I think it was a comedy song, but it's like him on fucking fire. Like, and it's like just amazing jokes. Like he might be one of the best comedians of all time. Like if you watch him live, you're like you just go like, how the fuck, what am I doing? You know what I mean? But regardless, so like you read all this stuff on the internet and you're like, what did he do? And then you look at it, and it's like he did nothing. You know what I mean? It's crazy. It's even like I always feel sorry for like someone like Dane Cook or whatever his name is.
Hmm.
Like I think he was like accused for stealing jokes at one point, and if you look at, I think it was like three jokes in particular or something, but like when you realize what what's like I had a joke one time that was word for word with Jerry Seinfeld, and I hadn't even done it yet. And I was about to do it, and I saw Jerry Seinfeld do a joke about mad cow disease, and I already wrote it out. It's like mad cow disease. Something like if you ask them, they're like, "Yeah, don't eat us, we're crazy." That was all, and I wrote that joke, and I saw Jerry Seinfeld do it live on Letterman when he came back to stand up. I'm like, "Well, that joke's done," but I could have I could have went out and did it, and some all of a sudden someone says, "Oh, you're doing Jerry Seinfeld," and like if you watch Dane Cook live, he's fucking like the same thing. Like his crowd work is crazy. His writing's amazing. He's just like now he's got. I think he's moved past it, but there's always this little stink on him from like the past that really wasn't. I'm not even a fan either, but it wasn't deserved. The internet's a hard thing to navigate through. Like it can really like change your life for the better, or like all of a sudden like you're like the most evil. You're like the most horrible person in the world, and you didn't even do anything. You know?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, the internet has changed so much for creative endeavors. Like for stand-up specifically, you want to put just the polished stuff out there because if you end up putting out something that you're like working on or something leaks, it's like this isn't ready. You're watching a version that isn't the final form of what
Right.
stand-up would be. And so not only does it sort of kill that bit, I would imagine, because like you can't really keep doing it if it's already out there, but then also you don't get to perform like the good version of that joke. Um,
Right.
and then like the idea of parallel thinking with jokes is also really interesting. Like you're saying, like you had a joke that Jerry Seinfeld did, and it's not because you heard his joke before and copied it. It's just because you both had similar thoughts when it came to
Right.
like this mad cow disease bit. And I'm sure that happens all the time with like tons of comedians. And it's almost like in your case, kind of unlucky because Jerry Seinfeld is Seinfeld. And so you have to like submit to the fact that, oh, his joke's already out there, even though
Yeah.
maybe you wrote it before him.
I have a joke where it's like where I like did in 2000 and I think I came up with it in 2006 or something like that, but I did on my special and it's I think 2007 or 8 or I forget now. But it's like I go, Jesus, I basically the joke is Jesus Christ died for your sins. Like guys, I don't understand people sin like Christians, they don't drink, they don't smoke, they don't do drugs. Jesus Christ died for your sins. If you don't sin, then he died for nothing.
Yeah, it's one
Right?
of my favorite jokes of yours.
So like all of a sudden, like Louis C.K. has a TV show. Like I think it's season one, it's just called Louis or whatever.
Mhm.
And these kids are getting in trouble from a nun, and the kid Louis or his friend that's a kid, like it's a It's like going back in the past of like them being kids. It's like, don't do that. Jesus Christ died for your sins. And then the kid's like, oh, miss or miss whatever. If we don't sin, then didn't he die for nothing? And like that was after my special. You know what I mean? And then apparently Ricky, what's the guy that created The
Gervais.
Office? Gervais. He tweeted a bunch of times like, "Oh, remember Jesus Christ died for your sins. If you don't sin, then he died for nothing." And that was like my this guy I knew, like comedian's like, "Oh, that's not your joke. You didn't come up with that joke." I'm like, "Oh yeah." It's like, well, so and so Ricky Gervais came up with it. I'm like, "Oh yeah, look, find out what year." And it was like, "Oh, 2010." I'm like, "Oh, I guess I got a time machine and went into the future, stole the joke and went back. You're right. I'm sorry." You know what I mean? Like, and he's like,
Right.
"Okay, all right." So it's like, but like these guys are all famous. Okay, I will say one other thing. There's no way they stole it from me. There's no way. There's no way that they're both like two of the smartest comedians in the world. You know what I mean? Of course they came up with the joke. They probably, you know what I mean? Like they don't even know like Ricky Gervais doesn't even know it was on Louis' show. You know, he's like, it's just so the shit just fucking happens, dude. I'm just lucky that if someone, I'm just lucky that someone tries to fucking go, hey, 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 the dates show that I'm in the clear that it couldn't have been me because everybody was just assuming that it would have been the other. There's no way they would. No, there's no way they would have stole from me. But it's easy to think like I would have stole from them, you know, because
Yeah.
they're famous and I'm not, you know.
Yeah. I mean, if I had seen those tweets or that clip of Louis' show, I would have been like, oh, that's Manolis's joke because I knew that was one of my
Yeah,
favorite jokes of yours.
and then
Uh,
there's T-shirts with it. Like people have made T-shirts with that joke on it, selling it. Like
yeah.
like it's so funny. It's like people send me a meme or a thing or someone's quote saying that joke from other like podcasts or like someone trying to like someone doing a play. It's like, well, blah blah. Like, and it's like, yeah, I know, I get them all the time. Like, what do you want me to do? Get a lawyer? Like, what? It's like the fucking. It's what you just be glad that you didn't do anything wrong, you know?
Yeah. And then it's just like coming up with more stuff and just putting that aside. I mean, a lot of comedians used to be, I think, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but a lot of the way it used to be done was like guys would have a set and they would have like 45 minutes and they would do that 45 minutes for 20 years. Whereas now it sort of feels like comedians are coming out with specials every year or two now. And it's like the churn of material is like way faster now than it used to be.
It is, and it's easy. It gets better. It gets better the more famous you are or more established you are, because then you can more access to um mic time. But like even the just regular comics can still like hustle and get on stage. I think Louis. I just realized Louis has got he figured it out. He just books like he just does like 200 seat like comedy clubs across the wherever he's going to work out his new instead of like because like comics, these famous comics in LA, they just go up like fucking 8 times a night because they're famous, right? They're all but like he went like, oh wait a minute, why am I doing 20 minutes here and 10 minutes there? Why don't I just do an hour straight, get paid for it, work out my new shit? So he's just working out the new shit on the road. It's fucking genius, man.
Right. And it's smart because he could fill out a way bigger theater. Like, is that what you're saying? Like, he
Yeah, yeah.
could fill
That's
out a
the
way bigger theater, but he's choosing to do these little rooms, like little for
he,
him.
yeah, he's charging like, buddy. I saw him in Niagara Falls, yucks, like so many years ago, not like 4 or 5 years ago, I guess it was, whatever. I think I paid $35,
Wow.
$35, and it was like he did like 11 shows there or something, or no, maybe 7 or something. But like I was on, I think it was Saturday. I think it was there on the Saturday and Saturday. Like when I watched it, like, and it was all brand new, like him just working the kinks out. You know what I mean? And you watch it, you go, holy fuck, what the fuck? Just fire, just the writing. He's a master of like talking about something and saying something as he's talking about something, like a word or something, and then he'll like, oh, what the fuck? Why did I say that? And he goes on a tangent on that thing, and then goes, it's like, anyways, oh yeah, back to this thing. He's a master at that. He makes it because he does it on purpose, but he makes it seem like he's like, oh, I got sidetracked. and sidetrack turns into another amazing 10 minutes and back to the original. Like you're like, God damn it, this fucking guy.
Sort of ties things in and makes it seem like he's just like talking out of his ass, but really it's all planned out.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like he goes one
He,
way and then brings it full circle. It's a callback. It's a joke.
yeah, it's fucking it hurts so much. Like I'm like laughing so hard and I'm like so upset at the same time.
Yeah,
And and he's yeah, he's an amazing comedian. But like here's the thing. I only watch stand up live. So if I don't watch anything on I don't watch anything on the internet. I don't watch anything on like Netflix or anything because I don't want to mistakenly steal a joke. Because if I watch a Louis C.K. like fucking special, I'll probably won't watch it again. So like I have to draw the line somewhere. So I watch if I'm going to the show or if I'm at a show, I watch it. But like I don't want to watch like Bill Burr's new special and then 6 months later I'm like, you know what's funny? But and then I start like because I'm not smart enough to remember everything I fucking hear and see, like, oh, I that's so and so's joke,
yeah, I've had
just
that experience too, where uh, sometimes like I do little sketches and skits and things, and sometimes I'll come up with an idea and I'll be like, man, this is so funny. I'm such a genius. And then, and then, you know, 2 days later, I'm like, oh wait, I think I saw that on something else. It's like nobody can remember what they've seen. There's so much stuff out there now that
right,
you're just constantly inundated with material and
right,
Instagram videos and whatever. And that stuff is just going to seep into your psyche. So, like, if you don't even on purpose copy something, you just might have that seed that was like planted in your head that you don't remember.
yeah, exactly, and like some more than others. So I just try to do it. It's just for my own safety because I as long as I want to keep doing stand up, I'm gonna keep not watching it. And I've been around where it's like too. It's like I get along with a lot of comedians, but I'm also like I know everybody in a way. Like I've met everybody, I've known everybody, I've talked to, and I've seen it all. And either I'm very careful of like who's in front of me at all times. If you're cool, if like people say like if someone says Manolis is a nice guy, I always think, oh no, such a nice guy. No, no, you're a nice guy. I only allow nice people around me. If I don't like you, you're not saying. I guarantee you're not saying I'm a nice guy because I'm never around you. I purposely will stay away from people that are just fucking like not cool. Because life's like it's so fleeting in a way. Like you just like you we're all just here and we don't know how long we're going to be here, and that's just such a contrived thing to say. Like it's so like of course everybody says that, but it's like it is true though. Like we're just why waste our time being around people that suck? You know what I mean? Like it's just like sometimes it's like you just don't want to hurt people's feelings, but it's like, well, what about my feelings, dude? Like what about my life? Like fuck that. It's like I don't it's like I'm like, you suck, dude, and you can like be around people that suck.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you don't want to be surround yourself with people who sort of bring you down. That's definitely, or just have a
Yeah.
bad vibe in general. It's for sure not good for comedy, I would imagine. But on that note, like a lot of your jokes, I watched your newest special, Growing Up Greek. It's really funny.
Thank you.
I really encourage everyone to watch it. It's on YouTube. You
Yeah.
can just type in Manolis Zontanos, Growing Up Greek. It should come up. Um, a lot of your jokes from that special, but also just the jokes that I've remembered of yours from the past are kind of stories. They're like about things that have happened to you or your life. I remember one of your jokes about your nephew finding a condom.
Yeah.
I thought that was such a funny bit. Like, are those real things that happen to you, or are you just like making up stuff and like turning them into bits?
No, if it's a story, it's 100% true. That's the crazy part. Like, yeah, like it's and like when that happened, like that exactly happened. He found the condom on my coffee table. I forgot it was there. He's like 5 or 6 years old, and he's like, "What's this?" Like, "What's a condom?" I'm like, "What's a condom?" I go, "You put on your penis, stop him from making babies." He goes, "Can I try?" It's like, "No, you can't try. What are you talking about?" But he's like 6. He opens it up. He's looking at it, And then my dad walks into the room, or my not my dad, his dad walks into the room, my brother, and it's like, I know what a condom is, like a rat, and then goes to school and tells his teacher. The teacher is like, how do you know? So and he's like, he's not thinking. That's the thing about kids. Like he just saw the condom on my coffee table, and I'm like, I kind of told him what it was, and but then he's like, well, how do you know? It's oh, my uncle Manoli showed me how to use one. Wait,
Oh
what?
no.
Yeah, so the teacher calls the mom. The mom his mom kind of freaks out.
Yeah.
Not freaks out, but like, and then the only, and like I said, I gave him shit, forgive me shit. He goes, what? Nothing happened. So this is the only lie I say, like in the jokes, like, it's like, and I go, it's like, what? But nothing happened. Like, I'm like, because I told him we shouldn't have done that. It's like, I go, yeah, but I'm gonna need you to say that in court for me, all right?
Yeah.
That's so that's the one lie in the joke.
Right. Well, it's a great joke, and it's uh cool that you can like pull stuff from your life. Like, how do you know that that's a bit like, is your radar just always looking for that kind of stuff?
No, you know how it is actually. Honestly, truth, I don't even like almost every story that most of the stories that I tell. I had no intention of telling it on stage, which is so stupid because I should think that way. I'll tell someone I'll tell someone like you, like I'm like, oh, blah blah blah. I tell some story like something happened to me. I don't know what, just something triggers like the memory of it. And the person will be like, because it's not a comedian, it's like a normal person. And and he goes, he's like, oh, is that part of your act? Do you do that do you do that? Is that is that you do that on stage? Trying to be like, why are you doing material on me? Like, right?
Right.
And I'm like, as soon as they say, I'm like, oh no, what the fuck? Why am I not doing this on stage? I'm an idiot. Like I shouldn't, like that's a lot of times that happens. Like even like my story about my dad and the raccoon story, which is on my special. I didn't I happened when I first started talking about that on stage, it was like probably happened like 3 years prior.
Oh
I
wow.
didn't talk about it on stage because I thought I was like kind of like afraid that my dad would get in trouble somehow, like in a weird way, because like the rat in the story, my dad's like hosing down a raccoon with cold garden hose water, giving away, not giving away, but it's like part of the ending of it. But it's like I thought like, oh, this is gonna be a problem. And then I was like, fuck, I thought, fuck it. I think I was in a, like sometimes you do stand up at places where it's all comedians, and I'm like, what the fuck am I gonna tell? What am I gonna tell that makes these comedians actually fucking listen? So I just told the story. I was like, oh, I'll tell this story and see what happens, because at least they'll pay attention. And next thing you know, something's born. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's so interesting that like you're not even always aware that it's a bit until you like do it with a real person in a real interaction. It's
Real
because
people are the best.
you're just naturally funny in conversation, and then people sort of cue you to realize how funny you are in that
Yeah,
moment, and then you take that and then use it on stage.
yeah. And it's like that's why it's also really good to have those kind of people in your life. Like a lot of times when you're a comedian, sometimes you start to not have regular people that are your friends in your life. Like I have a handful of friends that are not comedians that I hang out with here and there when I do. And I'll tell you, man, if you meet any of my like old school friends and are just people like it's like talk to my nephews or talk to my my buddies, if you ask them like how much does Manolis talk about comedy, like or in general, and I swear to God they'll say never. People that like my close friends, like if you heard us just talking for an hour, you'd like there would be like there's no way you wouldn't go, oh, this guy's a comedian, because I don't talk about stand up at all. I never talk about stand up because it's like I just don't want. I feel like if you're too like sucked in like that, or if like I just hang out with comedians or just do this, once you cut those people out of your life, then you cut like life out. You need to talk. There's you have less access to stuff that are going to happen. You know what I mean? I remember one time thinking like, because I always have this weird feeling too. Like it's funny because I know famous people. I've been around. I have never had a brick break. I've showcased for every festival. I've never and I've never they've never no one's ever grabbed me. I mean, I got into Just for Laughs one time only because Ari Shafir asked for me because he's like, why isn't Just for Laughs ever use you? I'm like, I don't know, bud. He's like, oh, and he's like, he's such a rebel. Like he's like, I'm gonna ask for him as my opener just to say fuck you kind of thing. And they had to say yes, right? But like I like the idea of like I'm like this guy that could be famous or could be good enough. I'm good enough to be famous, right? But I'm not. But I live this. I'm. It's like I feel like a famous comic living a non-famous life, if that makes sense. Which
Yeah.
is to me what I get from it's actually more interesting. Like it become my life is more interesting because like it's like putting Louis C. It's like I'm not even close to being like someone like Louis C.K. I apologize for using him, but like imagine you make Louis C.K. work at a fucking dispensary to like I was working at a dispensary like for a while when it was illegal, and I was like checking IDs, and then I was a bouncer for a while, and then I was like bagging weed for like 1 grams because they were selling so many. Like I was doing all this kind of shit, and one night I was like doing because they got robbed one night, like, and so I had to be like security after hours because they were afraid someone breaking in now because it got robbed by gunpoint.
Mhm.
So now I'm like I'm like I'm in a store by myself to make sure no one breaks in and steals like $100,000 worth of weed. I'm one guy.
Yeah.
Like just it's stupid.
It's so weird though. Like so many people, I think, are like doing these kind of like side gigs while they're like chasing
Their real
the real
dream.
dream,
So
you know?
I'm there one night, and then all of a sudden my buddy calls me and he says, "Hey man, I need you to come to the other location right now." So the other location, there's two locations that were going on at the same time, like a cannabis culture, I think it used to be called. And so the guy that closed that one left the door unlocked. Okay, like an idiot. So I think the alarm went off because maybe the wind blowed it open. So my buddy went down. He saw that no one was in there, but now he had to swipe the building, like because we don't know if there's anybody in this building. It's like fucking 3 in the morning, and we can't call the cops for anything because everything we're doing is illegal. So now I leave my other location, lock that door, go see him. I have a crowbar, and he's got a light shining over my shoulder, and we swipe the whole building, make sure there's no one in there trying to steal from it after we leave. And I'm like thinking, like, can you imagine like Bill Burr doing this right now? Or like, you know what I mean? Like, or Duncan Trussell right now is like walking through a fucking dispensary at 4 in the morning in the pitch dark with a flashlight over his shoulder to see if there's anybody there to kick them out. Like, this is fucking insane. And those are those moments where like my life is actually hilarious. In a
That is really funny. But I'm sure those guys had gigs before, like I'm sure they had weird gigs when they were coming up
I
and
mean, I
everything. And
know,
like,
but yeah, I mean, I know, but like, I'm saying like I'm kind of supposed to be where they're at in a weird way, but
yeah,
I'm not. So it's like they're like for them, it's like, would you do this now? It's like God no,
right.
and like including me. If I was where they were at, hey Manolis, we need you to. No, actually, I might do it. Actually, no, I'm saying if it was my buddy, I probably would do it. I'd be like, yeah, I'll be right over.
We were talking about like Louis C.K. and Dane Cook earlier. I've seen both of those guys live, kind of at their height. I haven't seen them in many years, but two examples of like really different styles.
Yeah,
Dane Cook was like really high energy, and a lot of people gave him flack because like they would say he almost didn't have jokes. He almost just like crushed with energy, and the energy is what made it funny. I don't necessarily agree. I think he had jokes, but it
I
was
think he
definitely
had
a
jokes.
choice. It was definitely a choice to like be that big on stage. Whereas like a guy like Louis is a little more like crumbling, and we're watching this man like crumble and like fumble his way through stuff, right?
But
And so your style is like feels like you're talking to your best friend. Like that's the vibe that I used to get when I would watch you, almost as if you're like in just a one-on-one room with one other person, and it's like really intimate, like conversation you're having with someone.
I get
Um,
that a lot.
is
People
that
say that to
like,
me.
yeah, yeah. Is that like your? did you choose, like, did you consciously go, oh, that's what I want to do? Or do you think that that's just how you are? Like, did you develop that style? Like,
I
what made you
think
do that?
I think I was already like that before I did it. Like with my friend, I always try and make people laugh, and I think that with my style was already developed before I even did stand up, if that makes sense. And like you just get better at it as you go along. But I like the idea. I think subconsciously I like the idea of like the feeling like this guy's our buddy. You know what I mean? Because I just think of them. I think of them as my friends too. Like I don't think of it like it's weird. I really like doing stand up, but I don't think I'm performing. Like I don't think I'm the comedian and you're the audience. I just think like it's like it's almost we're like at a party and we're just shooting the shit. But I'm holding the mic for right now, you know? Um I think I think my style is like non-forced. So I think it just kind of happened, but I just don't want it to be any other way, if that makes sense. I like the idea of everybody feeling I like people I want it sounds so stupid. I mean, I think most comedians like I just want people to be happy, you know? I just want everybody to have a good time, you know?
Yeah, fair enough. And I think that's like part of what makes that style work for you is that
Mhm.
like your jokes are so personal. And so it feels like we're getting this like inner look into your life because it's, you tell jokes about your family and about your life. And so it feels like we are just kind of having a conversation, as opposed to like a guy like, doing one like Jimmy Carr or something who's just like doing one liner, like set up punchline. It's like you're
Right.
telling stories that sort of lean into your life in a way that makes it feel more authentic and like personal.
Thank you. A lot and like funny enough, like when I end up having fans, if I have them, they usually just become my friends. Most of my fans are my friends. I met a guy one time at Toronto Yucks and he just the comedian on stage was like, "Does anybody want to dance on stage with me right now?" And this guy got up on stage and I went up to him afterwards because my camera was rolling. I'm like, "Hey, I was taping. Do you want that?" He's like, "Fucking right, I want that." So I went through the trouble mailing to him because he lived in St. John's, Newfoundland. Turns into like me going to St. John's to perform at Yuck Yucks for the week, but I needed a place to stay for 4 days, and I stayed with this guy for like now he's a friend of mine. You know what I mean?
Wow.
That happens all the time. Like I have so many fans, it ends up being just buddies of mine. So, because that's my personality to begin with. Like it's like it's hard. Like I remember like I opened up for Duncan Trussell. He's like that kind of guy too. Like everybody, he could talk to anybody forever, ever. You know what I mean? And he was like, there was two shows, and he didn't come out between shows to do a meet and greet because there was a second show. But it would have took like people love that guy so much. It would have took hours. It would have took like 3 hours for him to talk to everybody. You know what I mean? So that's when like I can get away with it because I'm not famous. But when you're at like Duncan Trussell like fame level, like like there's or even like Theo Vaughn, right? Super likable, right? Never met him, but like I dig his like his aura. Like I like what he's like his persona presents. I think he really is that guy. You know what I mean? But like that guy, if he went to fucking meet all his fans afterwards, he would never leave because he's like loved so much by all these fucking people. Yeah, well
Yeah,
deserved.
Theo Von is an interesting one because he's so unique. But I wonder if you think that like the fame aspect is always a good thing. I mean, a lot of comedians um, are looking to become famous because that sort of comes with the territory of being, really successful. But do you like the idea of like having your life so public and like under the microscope? Like Theo Von just had that
Little thing.
incident happen. I'm not sure exactly what happened. I think he sort of had an awkward on stage moment and he was a little rattled about something that was going on in his life. But it's like if that happened to anyone else who was like a mid-level comic or whatever, like nobody would know or care, and you could just sort of skate by. But if you're at that level, it's like you're really scrutinized. That
So like Duncan Trussell is like he's famous, but he's not Theo Von famous in a way, but he's very famous. But he's the kind of fame where it's I think of him like almost like Lou Reed. Like either you know who Lou Reed is or you don't. And if you know who Lou Reed is, you love Lou Reed. You know what I mean? Like Duncan's kind of like his fan base is very like dialed in to like his what he's doing. Where like Theo Vaughn transcends past that, I think a bit. You know what I mean? Like where he's like he could have a late night talk show and they would like it would be green lit for sure. And he's at that level where it's like he's already like really famous, but like I think he's getting to another level of fame that I think he thought he was already where he was like he thought like how, but I think he's realizing he's getting more famous. And I think he's in a period where he's getting used to this new world that he's in, and that's a lot to deal with because like this guy like he's now I don't know I don't know if he ever falls off. I think he smokes darts a lot, you know what I mean, but like which is something that holds you over. But like he talks about he likes to do blow, like he used to do blow in the back day, probably drank, who knows what else. But like if you used to do blow and you're like, it's probably always in the back of your mind, like, oh, we fucking let's fucking a couple rails right now would be fucking great, you know? And like that's a lot, like he's dealing with that's a lot of like it's a lot of pressure, man. He's going through a lot of pressure. He's like doing a podcast all the time, but trying to come up with this material for I think he was trying to film a special. He probably isn't hitting the clubs as hard as he could or should because he's doing also a podcast. It's like he's trying to you know what I mean? It's like I got to paint my house and I got to take my dog to the vet and I got to fucking go to school or pick my kid up in school and then I got to listen to my wife talk about nothing. I mean, like whatever. It's like, and I gotta create this stand up. Like he's got that same world in a different way, where it's like he's got to do all these things and try to like get good enough to do this new special he's doing. And no one's perfect, and everybody has this moment of like, I fucking like I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. What the fuck am I doing? You know what I mean?
Yeah, no doubt he'll be fine. And his podcast is really great. One awkward
Here,
moment, it doesn't define your career, but it's like when you're that famous, it does like feel like more eyes are on you, more pressure is on you, you know?
yeah, you know, I would love to have. Here's the thing, I would love to have that problem. You know what I mean? Because I'm
Yeah.
like, I'd love to like not have to try to get a gig, you know, or try to fucking. I live in a world. I still live in that world. It's like I'm waiting for my turn, you know, or it's like there's so too. We live in this world where like comedians only want to be famous. I think the good ones. They just don't want. They just don't want to have to fucking work their asses off to get gigs. Like they just want. It's like all of a sudden you're just getting all the like Russell when Russell's like told me when his like comedy now got leaked on the internet, which is not a big deal. He didn't put it up, and it went viral before where we knew what viral was. And all of a sudden he said he started getting calls for him to do gigs in the States in different places out of nowhere, and he thought that was weird. He didn't even understand that his stuff was on the internet. He didn't understand that. So all of a sudden, like now he's just like, I'm doing gigs here. I'm doing like he just started getting more gigs. That's all. We don't want most comics want fame just so they can just not think about trying to get the gig. So like non-famous comedians have to be like emailing different bookers, dealing with different things, trying to create a show, trying to get on this. It's like the there's either like you're just here, like just the regular comic that's like grinding it out between amongst all the millions of other comedians there are, or you're up here and you got like now you're just laughing. You're just enjoying life and just telling jokes, talking about your dick across the world. You
Yeah,
know?
I can relate to that a lot too because you know I stopped doing stand up for a bunch of reasons, but I don't think I was really cut out for that life. I really enjoyed it, and I miss being on stage, and I miss the I don't know if it's like adrenaline or whatever it is of like getting a laugh, like having a great show. Like I do miss that part of it, but I don't miss the part you're describing where it's like you're constantly chasing the next gig and like you have to
Yeah.
drive to like 3 hours to like go do a show in front of 9 people and like get a beer as a payment. Like that part of it, I don't miss at all.
Yeah.
But I do miss the like joy of like making other people laugh and being on stage. And I just remember like the feeling of it's really hard to describe if you haven't experienced it. Maybe you could do a better job of explaining it, but it's like it really is like a high. And I can understand why after a really good set, a lot of comics want to do blow or drink or whatever because it's like you want to party. You like you feel so good after crushing it.
Right.
Um, but then on the flip side, it's like when you bomb, it's like you're depressed for like 2 weeks. At least I was. Uh,
Right.
so it's like it really is a big swing. It's like if you go, you could go one way or the other. You know?
Yeah, it's an emotional roller coaster ride, and it's like part of it is like I don't even know why we're doing it. Like I don't even know why we're doing this to ourselves. You know what I mean? And I was talking about this on a car ride the other day. I was like doing a gig with two comics that are on the fairly new side of comedy, like under 5 years. He goes, I've been doing stand up for 20 years. And one thing I've realized is like, it's not going to fix you. I always thought like, there was a time where I thought like comedy was going to fix, like, there's a hole that everybody has. They're trying to fucking figure out what to put in that hole to make it not be there. Like you feel depressed or lonely or something's not right. Or like, why do I feel, well, everybody feels a little broken and we're all trying to look for that like thing that makes us happy, whatever it is. And you think, I thought maybe comedy does make me happy. And now I realize even if I became to another level famous, I would still feel this way. Comedy's the thing that makes me deal. Comedy's that thing that like I do that makes me deal with life, like makes life a little bit easier to deal with because I have somewhere to vent and just I get that adrenaline rush or the endorphin rush or serotonin rush from just 200 or 100 people laughing or whatever it is, and it makes me feel good for the moment in life. Like, oh, life's better than I think it is. You know, it's like almost taking like a little microdose of mushrooms or whatever, right? But it's not. But then by the next day, you get back to like, something's off, and I don't even know what it like. Here's the thing, I don't like. I'm still trying to figure it out because I don't know. Like, I don't know. I was like, I was kind of dating this girl, and then I think it's kind of fading, and I'm okay with it. But it's like when it was good, I was like, really like, is it maybe it's love that I'm missing, you know? And I don't know. And now it's like, now it's fading, and I'm like, even when I had it, I'm like, I'm not even sure if it's that, you know? I don't even know. I don't know if whatever's wrong with all of us can be fixed. You know what I mean? And maybe that's what we need to fucking accept, and maybe that everything will be okay. I'm just having an epiphany right now, I think, but I don't know. It's fucking. I'm not a depressed person, but I'm not. I don't have it all figured out. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, I don't think anyone does, man. I mean, I certainly don't feel like I have it figured out. And this idea of fame and like when fame is going to come, it's like for me, it was always really success that I wanted in the way that you're describing, where it was like, oh, I just want security where I don't have to like beg for gigs and run around and do stuff. And that's even
Right.
the same now when it's, I work in TV and film for the most part. And, I work from show to show. And it's like when there's no show, there's no show. And so you're still
Right.
constantly chasing the next thing. So in the same way, I sort of jump from one chase to another. Um,
Right.
but what's interesting to me is that like a lot of comedians, Louis C.K. is a perfect example, became famous a little bit like later in life. And I think that
Right.
actually served them better. I think, as someone like when I was a kid, I did some acting and I was never famous, but like from time to time I would get recognized or people would, know who I was. This was all like really pre social media and everything. So like once in a while, just in my small, in Hamilton, someone would recognize me from a show I did or something,
Right.
uh, a TV show or whatever. And I was so grateful for that experience, but it was also so weird. Like, and that doesn't happen to me ever anymore. At this point, it's been many years since I've done like on-screen acting or anything. But that experience, I would think, if you're a young person who became really famous really fast, like that is really crazy, and it would mess you up in a way that unless you have like people who are really grounded around you, could like really impact you. And I think as an adult, like you're positioned really well actually to become a famous person now because you have that like lived experience. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
You know to be humble, you know to be
yeah,
who you are. Whereas if you're like 18 and you got really famous really quick, it's like you're not even a person yet. You know what I mean?
yeah. It's almost like a young comedian opposed to like a pro comedian or like someone that's ready. Say for fame, it's like you ever see like a young comedian, someone might be like, "Oh, you're amazing," and like that guy will be like, "Oh yeah, really? Why? Why do you think that? Like, tell me more." Or like, where like a pro guy has been around, and it's like I'm also like, I'm fine, but I'm like a little dead inside. It doesn't matter. Like, so what? So I made y'all laugh. Like it doesn't like so. Oh, now I'm better than you. Like I'm attacking myself. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
like, and I'm like, oh, thanks, man. Like, hey, what's your name? Like, you don't want like the good. I swear to God, you watch a good comedian, a pro comedian, they don't want to talk about themselves, right? Where it's like hockey players. I love hockey players. Yeah, I don't even watch sports. I love hockey player interviews. To ask them any question, it's all about like, well, the team did this and the team blah blah blah. It's all about the team. It's about working together as a unit. They don't want to fucking go like they don't want to be praised. And I'm fucking there's something so fucking beautiful about it because they're doing. I mean, whether it's they're doing it because they had to or should do it, but they're doing it. Because there's a lot of guys that don't have to do it. You know what I mean? That it could be this like that's just like I'm the most important person in the world. It was like they're like you look at someone like Trump. That's all he wants to do is talk about himself.
If you could go back in time, Manolis, 20 years ago, to a young Manolis who's just starting stand up, would you give him any advice? Is there anything you would tell that guy?
I would say don't. I would definitely say like don't get caught up. Don't get caught up in like worrying about what everybody else is doing and getting. That would be. I always tell comics like don't worry about your friends getting stuff that you didn't get. Just to enjoy comedy. Like I was like in that rut and like um I was like trying to get off fast track and I couldn't get off fast track for whatever reason. And I was just turning into this fucking, this is bullshit. I'm funnier than him. I'm funnier than him. This is fucking. And then Mark Breslin, the owns Yucks. He was like watching me and to see if I was going to get off fast track. And I had a horrible set. And he comes up to me and he goes, "Hey, what's going on?" I go, "I don't know what." It's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "I don't know what." It's like, you look miserable. You look angry. It's like it's stand up comedy. It's comedy. It's like go up there and have fun. What are you doing? Just go on fun. I don't understand what's happening right now. And I'm like, and it's just fucking right there. I was at. I mean, I'll like. He's not maybe not the best boss in the world because I don't work as much as I think I could or should, but that was the most important things I could ever have heard in my fucking life.
Sorry, could you go back for a second? So Mark Breslin is the owner of Yuck Yucks, which is a comedy
Yeah,
chain. I don't know if it's just in Canada or if it's elsewhere, but I
it's
know
just in Canada.
just in Canada. So it's like a big chain in Canada. But can you explain what the fast track is? I've not heard of it.
Oh, okay. Fast track is like so you get promoted, and back in the day it was Monday. So I was on Monday nights. It's an amateur night basically, but it's like there's like several people that will get like there's only so many people that can get on regularly just to call in, but there's like several people that are on every week. And once they get off of it, you're considered a pro comedian and they'll start giving you gigs.
Gotcha. So it's like through Yucks. It's almost like
Yeah, it's just a yucks thing. It's like you're I don't know, like you're hired somehow. Like you're like you passed the probation period and you're like, we've decided that you're good enough to like for people to pay to see.
right. Okay, cool.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, yeah, totally.
So like I was
Do they
on
still
it.
do that?
They do a pro am. I think it's like you get. I think it's on Wednesdays. I think you're on every second week now. I think they still do something like that. Yeah, but
Gotcha.
it's still like even back then and still now it's even harder now because there's like a million fucking comedians, right?
Right.
But regardless, when he said that to me, he's like, what are you doing? Have fun. And I like from that moment on, I was like, Knowles, what the fuck are you doing, dude? Like, you didn't get into comedy to fucking complain. and to bitch about every fucking like, I'm fighting him and this is that. I should be off fast track. Why am I not farther? Why did I get just for last? Why this? Why this? Why this? And you're like, you know what? I did this. I started stand up comedy because I liked it. It made me, I like the way it feels. I like making people laugh. Yeah. It's like, I don't even, it's like, I don't even want to be the best comedian in the world. I want to be the most famous. I just want to be able to, I would love to get to a level where I could just do like 1,000 seats across the world. You know what I mean? I'd be happy with that. So I'm not greedy. I just want, I like, I'm happy to just, I'm happy to tell jokes in front of 50 people. I'm happy to tell jokes in front of 1,000. I don't care. You just want to enjoy. I want to enjoy my life. That's it. Maybe do some mushrooms here and there, get drunk here and there, get laid here and there. I'm
Well,
not, you know,
yeah, I
I'm
mean,
doing it
that's
now. I'm already, that's the thing. I'm talking about this. I'm already doing it. I'm not doing 1,000, but like I get drunk when I want. I do drugs when I want it. And then I fucking, once in a while, I'm lucky enough to, some girl wants to have sex with me for some reason. And I do that too. You know what I mean?
I like that you say for some reason. That's funny. Well, that's on that note. I'll ask you sort of the last question that I usually always ask at the end of the pod. Um, what's one time or one thing you did where you stepped out of your comfort zone, and how did that impact your life?
Uh, I think one time I forget. I was like one time I don't do it anymore, but one time I was doing stand up and I had this idea. Like, the only reason I didn't keep doing it because I brought this guy on stage with me with a guitar, and I go and I would do some first. I do some material, and then I would do the same joke. I go, you know what? There's like there's like all types of like comedy. There's like but there's like dirty comedy, this comedy. There's never been any romantic comedy. So 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 I just got this guy play like romantic music, and I did the same exact joke to and it just made it so funny because it's like it's just a joke about me like and my like me some dick joke, but it's a slow and soft and like I stop and everybody would laugh so hard and it's like and then I just didn't keep doing because I guess I could have put it on a CD, but I was like and like played in the background, but I just like I don't want to bring a guy with a guitar with me everywhere I go. But I remember thinking like, oh fuck, there's no like I remember thinking like I like the idea that you realize like there's no rules.
Yeah,
That's a people we're very lucky. There's like with comedy, there's zero rules to comedy. Like if you want to do it, you should try to do it and then see if and like I always say like oh my jokes belong to you more than me. Like it's their jokes more than mine because they decide what I keep. I'll do anything. Like that's why I say no rules, but like but if they're laughing on a consistent basis, then I'm like, okay, this is going to put this in my back pocket. But like I like that like you can do like there's no it's like there's like someone's like I remember like when I got on fast track, there was this bit that there's like a 4 minute thing I had that I put together, and did it for my friend, and he's a comedian, and he was like at the time, I was like he goes, that's not that funny. I'm like, really? I think it's pretty good. And so I just did it. I did it for the first time on fast track, like on Monday, but I'm not on fast track, but it's Monday night, and the manager, I was Mark Brosnan's uncle, um, cousin or something, right? I forget. He related to the guy and nephew. I think it was his nephew. And he's like, comes up to me. He's like, "How long you been doing that bit?" I go, "It's my first time. Can you do it again?" It's like, "Yeah." I'm like, "Okay, you're gonna do that for Mark Brosnan next week. I want him to see that." And I did it for Mark Brosnan, and I got on fast track.
wow.
So like, you know what I mean? It's like it's one person like, oh, that's like trying to put rules on it. It's like, oh, that's not funny. That's not what's like. But if you have the idea is always worth trying, just regardless. And let's see what happens.
Yeah, let's see what happens. Well, thank you, Manolis. I appreciate you taking the time and chatting with me. I want to invite everyone to watch Growing Up Greek on YouTube. It's really funny.
Share it
Um,
too. If you like it, share it. I would like trying to get the fucking get it going, you
yeah,
know?
for sure, for sure. Cool, man. Well, thank you so much, and we'll talk to you soon.
Yeah, thanks, dude.